You are welcome back to the course. In this lesson, we are going to discuss how to write the chapters. We'll be starting with chapter 1 and chapter 2 in this lesson. So we are starting with chapter 1, the introduction. It is in chapter 1 that you do your introduction and get your readers or anybody who is looking at your project to understand what your project is all about. I understand you can also do that with abstract, but it is in chapter 1 that you now start to break them down. So what we have in chapter 1 is the background of the study. Here is where you give general knowledge on the study you are about to carry. So that is what you write in your background of the study. Remember, I said you should get an already written project and look at how they wrote their own so that you get idea on how to write your own. Also remember that you should not be copying another person's project. That will be called plagiarism. Don't worry, because we are going to learn how to generate all of these things using artificial intelligence. Let me also remind you that you don't just copy content from AI. I'll walk you through on how to do this so that your project will be free from plagiarism. Remember also, there is ethical ways of using AI. Now, coming to statements of the problem, this is where you state what the problem is, because you don't just come out and start writing a project that won't solve any problem. It is because there is a problem. That is why you are looking for a solution to solve that problem. After that, you state the purpose of the study, why you are interested and why you are studying that project in order to solve the problem. What will guide you in your project work is your research question and hypothesis. So many departments may not require you to include hypothesis, whereas in some institutions it is mandatory. Whatever that is the case, AI will help you to do this, and you are going to see them as we proceed. After that, you write the significance of the study, why your project work is significant in our society. Next is the scope of the study. Remember, you can't be solving the entire world problem. You write the scope, what is covered and what is not covered. Finally, you do definition of terms. Some institutions have removed this definition of terms because what students normally do is to define something that is not relevant. You see them defining teacher, defining classroom. Who doesn't know the meaning of teacher or classroom? So when you are doing definition of terms, it should be technical terms. Otherwise, you remove them entirely. So this is all you do with chapter 1. Let me show you how to generate them using AI. Now that we have started writing our chapters, beginning from chapter 1, let us see how AI will help us. I can start a fresh page if I want. Otherwise, I can continue with this. Whatever is your preference. Let me give it a prompt. Look at this prompt. I said, write a background of the study for a project research on the same topic. You understand? I'm using the same topic. Remember that AI doesn't know you are the one that will prompt it. Tell it what to do. That is what we mean by prompt. Later, I will show you how to get good prompts from the same AI. Okay? Now, when I click search, it will write the background of the study for us. Do you see? You don't need to pay anybody to write your project. AI is there to help you, but you must use it what? Ethically. You must use it ethically. You can see it has written the background of the study for us. And I can go on to prompt AI to continue writing. For example, if I ask you to write the statement of the problem, you know it is AI, it is intelligent, it will understand the topic he has written before and continue in that line. I don't need to add the entire prompt again. So if I click enter now, it will continue to write statements of the problem for me. I hope you understand this and this is just helpful. This is fantastic. AI is doing marvelous. So you don't have to reject AI saying that it is making you to be lazy. No, it is the world we are in. when we started using calculator, we lost so many things. AI is doing the same thing, but can we run away from it? No, you have to embrace it and use it to improve your productivity. Now, assuming that you don't like this particular paragraph, you feel that the sentences there are not well okay, you mean you want it to be more organized or to be organized differently. There is another AI tool that can help you. We call it paraphrasing tool. So the paraphrasing tool we are going to use today is called Quillbot. Let's go to it. So what I will do before we get to that place is to copy this. Then you just go to quillbot.com. This is it, quillbot.com. Then you enter your text. I just did a paste. These two options are free to use. If you want to use other ones like academic, creative, and the rest of them, you have to be on paid version. You will as well choose whether you will be using English UK or English US. Then you will click on paraphrase. Remember that the free version will only allow 130 words or thereabouts. So when I click on paraphrase, it will start to work and paraphrase the text. So instead of saying the lack of comprehensive data, it now says the absence of the thorough information and analysis, And again, you can still click on any of them to choose another phrase. At the end, you copy it into your work. Remember, again, I know why I am giving this warning. You must read through. Don't just lift things from anywhere and put in your project work. After that, this is chapter 2. In chapter 2, this is where you write your literature review. It is now called Review of Related Literature. You have theoretical framework, empirical review, conceptual framework, gaps in the literature, and conclusion. These terminologies might be difficult for some undergraduates to understand. That is why we are employing AI to help us, okay? But before we get to our system, let me try to explain them. For theoretical framework, a theoretical framework is a structure that explains how different ideas and concepts are related to each other. It is like a map that shows how your research fits into existing theories and ideas. What you do in a theoretical framework is to look for theories and ideas that are related to your own project. You then bring them in and showcase them. Let me give you an example. I will be using education faculty. That is where I have my training. But this thing is applicable in every other faculty, especially in social sciences and education, okay? By social sciences, I mean accounting, business administration, and the rest of them. Let us look at this theory called social cognitive theory. So if I want to write a theoretical framework and I am employing social cognitive theory, what is the meaning of social cognitive theory? It is a framework that explains how learning is influenced by observing others, imitating behavior, and reinforcement. So this thing can be used in a research on how students learn social skills through observing teachers' behavior. So you will now write about this particular theory. After that, you get another theory. That is how you write your chapter 2 theoretical framework. When you are done with that, you go to empirical review. What do we mean by empirical review? An empirical review is a summary of previous research studies that have used data and evidence to answer a research question. It is like a review of what is already been discovered about a topic. In your own work, you look for other studies that are related to your own. Then you review them. Shortly, I will show you an example of how to use AI to write some of these things. I will also show you other AI tools that can be used to find citation easily. Then the next thing you will need to do is to write your conceptual framework. What is conceptual framework? A conceptual framework is a diagram or visual representation that shows how different ideas and concepts are related to each other. It is like a mind map that helps you organize your thoughts. I have a material that shows the examples of these things, but there is no point bringing these examples here. They are eventually going to make this video to be too long, because we'll be learning how to use AI to generate some of these examples. So why are we learning this if not to apply AI in our research? And we'll have gaps in literature. What do we mean by gaps in literature? What kind of things do you write there? Gaps in the literature refer to areas where there is a lack of research or understanding about a specific topic. It is like finding a missing piece in a puzzle that needs to be filled in. So remember that you'll be reviewing other people's work under empirical review. So what you now do in gaps in the literature is to bring in what was not in others people's work that you reviewed, and your own is going to fill that gap. You said this person wrote about this thing, but he didn't do this. His work didn't cover this place. Meanwhile, your own work will be filling that gap. It will be covering there and there. That is what you write in gaps in the literature. At the end of the day, you write your conclusion. So it is time for us to practicalize this. So follow me as I turn on to my computer. Now, to write your chapter 2, that is theoretical framework, we are going to use another AI tool. That AI tool is what we'll be using to write our theoretical framework, so that the AI will write it for us. Okay? The one we'll be using first is Meta AI, but it's not the Meta AI that will write it for us. The problem is that the one that will write it for us will not be able to describe to that one the exact thing we need. So we want Meta AI to help us to generate a prompt. This prompt will now do the description for us. So let's do that. I'm now telling Meta AI to suggest a prompt that will be used to generate chapter 2 of a research project to write the theoretical framework on the topic, the same topic. Okay? So what basically Meta AI will be doing for us is to generate a prompt for us. So if I now say search, Meta AI will go to work and write the prompt for us. Do you see the prompts now? Because if you are the one that wants to describe this prompt to the AI, you may not be able to do it in detail like this. So Meta AI has done it for us. So all I will do is to copy the prompts. I will now go to Cloud. Because if I start to do it in Meta usually generates short paragraphs. So it will not write enough thing for us. So that's why I'll be using another AI known as Cloud. Cloud tends to output longer paragraphs. It will also ask you to sign up using your account. Once you have done that, you enter the prompt generated by Meta for you. Then click on search. So Cloud will go on and write this chapter 2 for us. Look at it. Chapter 2 is started with introduction, gender socialization theory, stereotype threat theory, self-efficacy theory, as you can see. So it's really doing the theoretical framework for us. And it's even entered to do conceptual framework, but I will suggest that you do those ones separately. You do conceptual framework separately. If you look at what Cloud AI did here, you will see that it also included citation for us. You can see the citations. You can see them here. Okay, I will still show you how to get more citation. When you are done with this one, you can also fact check to be sure that all this information are true. You can use your normal Google search to check if this information Cloud AI projected here for us, that they are okay. Now, assuming you just want to get more citation other than these ones here, you can use citation tools like QuickBooks. Let's go back to QuickBooks. You remember we use this QuickBooks for paraphrasing. They also have citation tool. So when you come to this left side corner, you will see citation generator. Let's click on it. Once you click on it, you enter your topic. I'm going to enter the same project topic we have been using. Once I do that, I'll click on Cite button, and it will generate some projects written in this particular topic. So these are research work. If you change it to book, it will filter some book and the rest of them. Maybe the reason why we have just these two is because I am too specific. If I remove maybe Lagos State, or remove chemistry, or remove gender differences, it will help to pull more data for us. That will be the end for this lesson. I hope it is now getting interesting. Can you see it? You can write your projects by yourself. See you in the next lesson.